right, so today, friends, here we go. We are going to actually be doing Unit 1, Lesson 9 in our math book. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about even and odd number patterns. We've already been talking about even and odd, haven't we? Yeah. Since the very, very first day of school. So, believe it or not, since the first day of school, I was getting you ready for this very moment in history. Dun, dun, dun. Even and odd number patterns, okay? Okay. But before we do that, we have some quick look cards, and I've got them ready here on the screen. And this time, Logan requested that we take a little bit of a second off to make it just a little bit harder. So, your eyes are going to want to be up here on the board while I go over our quick look cards. They're ready to go. You will have 3 seconds to look at them. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, oh, wait a second. Hold on. I don't think I set the number of seconds. I set it at 1. Wow, that would have been fast. Okay, let's go back to it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Easy.
All right. Woo! Who thinks they can tell me how many dots they saw and how they got to that number? Kinsley, give it a try there, hon. 10 dots. Fantastic, Kinsley. How did you find that answer so fast?
Because I saw it was 5 plus 5 and I knew 5 plus 5 is 10.
Fantastic, you did some pattern counting already. Awesome, Kinsley. High five in the air for you there, Kinsley. Fantastic job. Kinsley said that she saw 10 dots. Let me turn it around. There we go, 10 dots. She knew right away that if you have only one side of the double tens frame filled in, it must be 5. And 5 plus 5 is 10. So she remembered that doubles fact. Fantastic. Okay, here we go. Flipping it back over. All right, our next card. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
It's so easy.
Alrighty.
It's so easy.
Who feels brave?
Me.
Who
It's
thinks
easy.
they have it? Oh, let me pull a stick. Let me pull a stick. All right, stick person, lucky stick person, Levi. All right, Levi, what'd you see?
10.
Okay,
It's because 8 plus 2 is always 10.
so you saw 8 on one side and 2 on the other side, and you
Yeah.
put them together to make a combination of 10. Let's check it out. Levi thinks that there is 10 dots on here. So he said, come on, turn around for me card. Here we go. All right. Levi saw that there were 8 dots on the left side and 2 dots on the right side. 8 and 2 is 10. It is a combination of 10. Levi, how did you know so quickly on this left side that there was only 8 dots there?
It's because if you minus 2 from 10, it equals 8.
Right, so he knew that if he had this whole side filled in, it would be 10. But he noticed that there was 2 missing on that side. And so he knew that if he had 2 missing on that side, it must be just 8. Fantastic. All right, we flip that one over. We do have one more card. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my god, that's so easy.
All righty. Anybody want to make a guess? Jake, you're waving your hand. I see you. All right, buddy. What do you think it was? 10? Okay, what did you see? What did you see on one side?
I saw 4 missing on one side.
Okay. And then you saw what on the other side?
4.
Okay, so he saw, let's flip this card back around. He noticed that on this whole side, there's 4 missing. And so he remembered, too, that if you have it all filled up, it's actually 10. So if 4 is missing, and then he saw that there was 4 on this side, maybe in his brain he just kind of slid them over and filled in Zayden and Jose one whole side to make a 10. I don't want to have to move seats. Your eyes should be up this way, okay? So 6 on one side, 4 on the other side. 6 plus 4 is 10. Did you happen to notice that today's cards were all making combinations of 10?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a reason why we're doing that, because we want to keep that in our brain, what numbers we put together to make 10 each time. It's real simple and real easy. Okay, moving on with today's lesson. We finished the quick look cards. Our brains are warmed up. Going on to our math message. Maybe? Oh, here we go. I'm going to have you think. There's 2 questions. I'm going to have you think first before I ask for hands, okay? There are 2 questions. First of all, how many shoes come in a pair? And then second of all, we're just thinking, Jose. We're not talking. We're just thinking. First of all, how many shoes come in a pair? Second of all, what else comes in pairs? So, I'm going to watch the clock for 10 seconds. Think. How many things are in a pair? And what else comes in pairs? You got 5 more seconds to think about it. All right, here we go. How many shoes are in a pair? First of all, let me get my pen up here. How many shoes are in a pair? If you have a pair of shoes, how many is that, Gwen? It is 2. Very good. There are 2 things in a pair. If you have a pair of shoes, I mean, you got shoes on your feet right now. There are 2 of them. Hopefully only 2 of them. Hopefully you have 2 and not just 1 of them, right? Levi, go ahead and put that in your locker. Okay, now what other things come in pairs? What else comes in pairs? Valerie, can you tell me something comes in pairs? Socks come in pairs. I'll put that here on the underneath. Socks come in pairs. SOCKS. My finger writing is not the greatest, so bear with me. What else comes in pairs? Jamie, what else? I'm sorry. Pairs of games? I don't think so. They don't normally always come in pairs. These are some things that would always come in pairs. What else comes in pairs, Zayden?
Swings.
Swings don't always come in pairs. Nope. These are things that always have 2 at the same time. Jose? Mulch?
No, remote.
Remotes don't always come in pairs. Nope. I'm thinking of something that comes 2 all at the same time. Unessa, what do you think, honey? Gloves come in pairs.
Oh, yeah.
Socks, shoes, gloves come in pairs. I'll put gloves here on the board. G-L-O-V-E. That's supposed to be a V. S. Kind of looks like a check mark, but it is a V. So shoes come in pairs. Socks come in pairs. Something else that might come in pairs, Angelina?
Mittens.
Mittens come in pairs, right? You put them on your hands. Mittens. M-I-T-T-E-N-S.
Mittens. I have a cat named Mittens.
What else comes in pairs? Kaden. Okay, since your hand was raised, I thought you had the answer right away. Alina, what else comes in pairs? Eyeballs. You have a pair of eyes, right? You have 2 of them, right? Your eyes are in pairs. E-Y-E-S. You have a pair of eyes. What else might come in pairs? Valerie. Hands. You have 2 of them, right? You have a pair of hands. I like those friends that are thinking of different things that we have on our bodies that come in pairs because we've got lots of them. What else comes in pairs? Janessa? Legs. You got a pair of legs, right? We don't just hop around on 1 or try to walk on 3. That would be weird. Legs come in pairs. L-E-G-S, legs. What else comes in pairs? Logan.
Our pants come in pairs.
Pants come in pairs because we have 2 legs, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have 2 legs on your pants. Now, what's really weird is we call it a pair of pants. It doesn't mean you wear 2 pants, but it means that there's 2 legs on the pants, 1 for each of your legs. So pants do come in pairs. We call it a pair of pants. But that's one of those weird things in our English language. We have lots of weird stuff in our English language. Pants come in pairs. It doesn't mean you have 2 pants. But it just means you have 2 spaces for your legs. I'm going to take 1 more. Levi, what else comes in pairs?
Shorts.
Shorts come in pairs. A pair of shirts?
It's
Not
because
so
we
much.
have 2 arms.
Your arms come in pairs. I'm going to go with arms, okay?
No,
You have a pair of arms,
We did arms.
all right? We did hands,
Oh, yeah.
but we did not do arms, all right?
Oh, that is-
What do you have on the side of your head that comes in a pair?
Ears.
Ears. Ears come in pairs, right? You have 2 ears. What do you have above your eyes that come in pairs?
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows come in pairs, right? What do you have at the end of your nose that you breathe in and out of?
No.
Nostrils.
Astro.
Nostrils with an N. Your nostrils. You have a pair of nostrils. Rosemary, what do you have there, hon? Say it louder. Lungs. Yes, inside your body. In order to be able to breathe, you have these big kind of balloon things called your lungs. You have 2 of them. They help you breathe in and out. Okay? There's lots of things that come in pairs. All right. Now, we're talking about pairs for a reason today because we are going to be talking about even and odd. And because we have been talking about even and odd since day number 1 of school, this lesson is going to seem super duper easy because we've already heard it every day in morning meeting, right? Every single day in morning meeting, we have talked about even and odd. So if you've been here for morning meeting every day, you've already been talking about it. So moving on to the next page here. Let me click my page.
Which one is it?
And it's spinning. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about even and odd. Now, normally, if we had a normal classroom in a normal year, we would be standing up side by side in pairs. But we can't do that this year because we need to make sure that we stay safe apart. So I am going to do it like this. I want to show you pairs using my little chippy chips. So let me bring up my e-toolkit here. And I'm going to bring up some little chippy chips or counters. Sometimes you call them counters. And you know what? Since I feel fun, I'm going to use some bears. So we're going to pretend bears are our people, okay? So if I counted how many boys we have today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boys, 8 Jake at home. So I'm going to pull out 8 boys here, 8 blue bears. I probably should just pick any color, but I'll pick out 8 blue bears, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll pick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll count myself. 8 red bears, because I'm a girl, believe it or not. Okay.
Does that mean 1 girl
6,
every day?
7. Okay. Now, I'm going to pretend that these little bears on the board are us, our people. We are all now a plastic bear. Be one with the plastic bear. Do you feel like a plastic bear?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Good. Okay.
I do.
So now, I'm going to use the numbers in the classroom. Now, Jake, since you come into our room every once in a while, I'm actually going to use your classroom number, okay? So you're still going to be number 2, all right there, buddy? Now, Kinsley, I'm going to call you number 13. Yanessa, I'm going to call you number 14. Rosemary, I'm going to call you number 15, and I'm going to be number 16, all right? We're just going to have that number to represent who we are right now. So if I was representing person number 1 in the classroom, which would be Kaden, I would have 1 bear all by itself,
Yeah.
right? But then number 2 in the classroom comes along. Jake would be here. So now I have made a pair. Can you see that at home on my board? Can you see the pair of bears? The pair of bears. I rhymed. How many bears do I have together to make that pair, Levi? What was my question, Levi?
A pair of bears.
Right. How many?
2.
I have 2. It'd be really good if your eyes were this way instead of that way because nothing out that window is going to help you with your math. It would be 2. Now, number 3, Logan's going to come along. There we go. Ah. Now, Logan, I put his bear all by himself. Because remember, like we do with the sticks and I've done with my fingers, we have 1 and then 2 with a pair. But now that we have 3, are all of our numbers in pairs?
No.
No, not now. Okay? So now we don't have a pair. But then Gwen comes into the room because everybody comes in all at the same time, one by one. Oh, look at that. Now we have another pair. So we have 2, 4 bears. Okay? All right. Then number 5 comes into the room. Angelina, you're number 5, correct? Number 5 is Angelina. Here she goes. She's an odd man out right now. Number 5 does not go in pairs. But saving Angelina, because this person doesn't want poor Angelina to feel bad and be by herself. Who's number 6? Alina comes into the room. Fantastic. Alina comes in, and now we have another pair. Let's count these by 2s real quick. 2, 4, 6. See how we can count those pairs in 2s? It's a lot easier than just counting 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, isn't it?
Yeah, that would take longer.
Then Derek comes in. Oh, Derek's by himself. He's not in a pair, but that's okay. But now we have that odd man out, right? We have that one odd bear by itself until Zayden comes in. Zayden saves him. And Zayden comes into the room, and now we have another pair. Let's count our pairs by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. Fantastic. Wonderful. Oh, but right after Zayden comes Jose. Jose's always excited to come in the classroom. He rushes right in. Oh, now we have another odd man out. We have 9 bears. Now we have another odd number. But don't worry, Jose, because Levi is just as excited to get here as you are. So Levi comes right after him. And now we have another pair. Let's count them by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Even numbers we can count by 2s. Oh, but right after Levi, Jamie's right behind him. Here we go. Now we have an odd man out. I'm going to move some of my little red bears. Oh, I didn't want to move that one quite so far away. I'm going to move some of my red bears over. Jamie's number 11. 11 does not go in pairs, does it? No, there's an odd man out. But don't worry, Jamie, because Valerie's right there next to you. Valerie comes into the room, and now we have a pair. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12. Because we're counting by 2s. All right. I'm going to shift these a little bit so I have a little bit more space here because we're kind of running out of space down near the bottom. All right. After Valerie comes Kinsley. Kinsley just magically holograms herself into the classroom with her magic hologram power. She goes, brr, brr, brr. And here comes Kinsley, because all of a sudden she's number 13. Oh no, look, we have that odd man out again, right? Or odd girl out.
Oh yeah.
One bear by itself. Can I count these bears in 2s now?
No.
Not all of them, because they're not all in pairs. I can count the ones that are in pairs, but not all of them. But that's okay, don't worry, because right after Kinsley, Yanessa comes in. She holograms herself. Now we've got another pair. Let's count our pairs. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Hayden, it would really be great if you were counting with us, buddy, so that you can count by 2s too. Part of one of our second grade things that we need to do. Right after Kinsley and Yanessa comes Rosemary. Rosemary's zooming herself in, holographing. Here she comes in. Oh, but we got one bear by itself again. Can I count them all by 2s?
No.
No, because we have that odd one out. But don't worry, I won't leave Rosemary standing by herself for long. Now I finally come into the room, which I should have already been there, but we'll just pretend that I finally now come into the room. And now all of our bears are in pairs. Let's count them by twos, friends. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Could I keep doing this with bazillions of more bears? Yes, I could. But now we're going to start talking about how this relates to even and odd. So now I would like you to get out your math journal, your soft math book, your math journal, the one that has like the little boat made out of the leaf on the front. Okay? And I'm going to switch back to my screen here. And I want you to turn in your math journal to page 7. I'm trying to find it on my screen here. Oh, there we go. Okay, page 7 in your math journal. Let me see if I can find it on my screen real fast.
Page 7. Page 7.
Oh, let me see if it's this one right here. There we go. Okay, page 7. It should say odd and even number patterns. I'm sorry, odd and even patterns at the top. You'll find it in my book. Looks like this. Odd and even patterns at the top. Page 7 in there, Logan. Page 7. Should say odd and even numbers at the top. Odd and even patterns. Okay. So, we are going to use the numbers, the dots on the base 10. I'm sorry, the dots on the double tens frames or the tens frames to tell us whether or not we have an even number or an odd number. Valerie, do you have a question, sweetie?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't have holes, no holes, right? Okay, then that's the one you need. Page 7 in that book, okay? The other one that had holes should have gone home. Page 7. Oh, wait. I bet you were in volume 2. So you should have another one in your desk that looks just like this. Hold on, friends at home. We'll be right there. That's your volume 2. You want your other one.
Yeah, you want volume 1.
Is this your volume 2? Yep, that's your volume 2. There you go. Okay. You want to have your volume 1. Sorry, I forgot, friends at home, that you brought in all your books. You had 2 books at one time. Okay. Now we should be on page 7. Okay. So, we have really already been doing this because, let me point you in this direction. Friends at home, I'm going to shift you for a second. I want you to look back here, what we already did today with our number of the day. Can you see those dots? Friends here in the classroom, you can see those dots, right?
Yes.
I have always been writing them together in pairs, haven't I?
Yes.
I have always been writing them in pairs so that you can see whether or not it's an even number or an odd number, correct? So this looks a lot like what we see on the board right now, isn't it? In the doubles tens frame, doesn't it? I've been writing them that way for a reason. So here, friends at home, I'm going to move you back. Now we're going to do the same thing with the double tens frames or the tens frames that we have on our board. Okay, so there's 2 things that we need to do for each one of these questions. We first need to figure out how many dots there are, and then we need to decide whether it is odd or even. Now, do I want you to count each dot one by one by one? No. Because as second graders, we shouldn't have to count one by one by one. We should be able to count them in patterns. We should be able to count by 2s. We should be able to count by 5s. We should be able to count by 10s. So we no longer want to count one by one by one. Levi, put that pencil down. We're not writing anything yet. Okay. So let's practice with the first one that was already done for us as our example. This is how we should be counting our numbers or our dots on our tens frames. I'm going to start at the bottom and work up just because I see the pairs are at the bottom. I would count them 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 9. So let's practice counting like that together. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Very good. And then we wrote the number 9 down here, didn't we? Now, is 9 even or is 9 odd? Well, it gave us the answer already. It told us it was odd, but who can tell me why 9 is an odd number? Why is 9 an odd number, Valerie? Because it does not have a pair. There is an odd man out, isn't there?
Yeah.
There is one dot all by itself. If it's not in a pair and you have one by itself, it is always, 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 forever in a million years till the dinosaurs come home going to be odd. Okay? All right. Now, Logan, I already see you counting dot by dot by dot. We're not going to count dot by dot by dot. What I want you to do right now is you are going to do, and friends at home, you're going to do this too. You are going to do numbers 1, 2, and 3. Now, friends at home, when you have 1, 2, and 3 done, just hold it up for me and I will come and look at it, okay? Friends here in class, when you have numbers 1, 2, and 3 done, all you will do is put your pencil inside your book and close your book, and I'll know that you're ready to go on. You need to tell me how many dots there are and whether or not it is odd or even. Okay, so there's 2 parts for each one. You're going to tell me how many dots there are and whether or not it is odd or even. Any questions before you get started?
Wow.
All right, go ahead and get started. When you are finished here in the classroom, you're going to put your pencil inside your book and close your book. When you're finished at home, just hold the book up for me and I'll look at the page. Gwen, what's your question, sweetie?
Are we supposed to count like 5, 10?
I would like you to pattern count. I'd like you to get into that habit. I know I can't hear in your brain how you're counting, but it's always a good idea to try to do it that way. Okay?
So we can count like 5.
Absolutely. Yep. All right,
I
Rosemary,
don't know
look
how
at
to
yours.
spell even.
Rosemary, can you lift it up just a little bit more? I can't see that very last one. All right, thank you, Rosemary. You're fantastic. Yanessa, push it a little closer, Yanessa. Okay, Yanessa, thank you. Kinsley, can you put it a little bit closer to the screen? All right, fantastic, Kinsley. Thank you. The words even and odd are right here on the paper, so you don't need to ask me how to spell even and odd. They're right there on the paper at the top, and they're also right here in the directions labeled an odd and even. Okay? When you are finished here in the classroom, just put your pencil inside your book. All right, Jake, let me look at yours there, buddy. Oh, okay. You know, I'm going to remedy that. I think because it gets so confusing, I think I'm going to search to find an extra set. But I really didn't say that out loud, so shh.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Fantastic, Jake. Thank you, buddy. All right. I see a closed book, so I'm going to come around here and check yours. Okay, thank you, Alina. Here, number 6. I'll do numbers for you people so I don't have to write down your names so fast. Okay, check this one for me, okay? Check that. You are number 12. Open. Okay, thank you. Oh, I don't see a number here. And I want you to check this one too. Please.
On page 6 in the back.
Open it up. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to walk off. Okay, thank you, Jose. Flip it over so the book is upright, please. Okay? You have a number line in front of you. Find the number 12 on the number line that's in front of you on your desk and write it, please. You counted 130 dots? Not 130 there. That would be like a huge long tens frame that probably wouldn't even fit the board. Okay, you need make sure you check your numbers. You're counting the number of dots that are on here, okay? You don't count this by five. This would just be 5 altogether if you counted all of these. Okay, so double check your numbers. When I see that your book is closed with your pencil in your book, I'll know you're ready for the home. We're almost there. And then we'll go over our answers together. All right, thank you, Logan. You can shut it for just a second. I still need to see, let's see, Jamie, I still need to see yours. Okay, then your pencil should be inside your book on the page where it is, so I don't have to guess to find it again. Okay,
So I
1,
just close
2,
it back
3,
up?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where's number 9?
10. Oh,
Where's number 9?
there. Jose.
Oh, you're
Jose's
Jose. That's
9.
right. I didn't write number 9 down. So we'll go this way. Okay,
James, follow it upside down.
number 9. That's okay. I can still see it.
Anyway,
Number 10 I saw.
I got some.
Number 11. Okay, we're going to go over these together. Here we go. All right, you should have your book in front of you. We're going to go over these together. Here we go. Just double check your work. All right, so number 1, how many dots did we have, first of all, for number 1 on the double tens frame? Actually, this is just a single tens frame. How many dots did we have for number 1, Levi? Levi, you should have your book open in front of you so you can answer my question just like that. How many dots do we have? Kaden, you too. Have your book open right in front of you so you can answer my question just like that. How many dots do I have for my tens frame, Levi?
In your 10 frame?
For number 1. You shouldn't be counting. You should be looking at your book to tell me what your answer is.
-1.
No. How many dots do we have, Levi? Not how many
7.
are missing. We have 7 dots. How can I count that real fast without having to count each one?
It's -3.
How can I count the dots real fast without having to count each one? Okay, so Levi, let's turn our listening ears on. Here we go. This side can count them real fast. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7, because there's only 1 there, okay? So for number 1, I had 7 dots. Now, is 7 an even number or is it an odd number, Kaden?
7 is 8 odd.
7 is an odd number. Okay, very good. 7 is odd. Now, for number 2, how many dots were on this time? It's a double tens frame. How many dots are on the double tens frame? Real fast, Alita, how many dots? What do you have down for your number? 12. Yep, we had 12 dots. Now, we can pattern count this one really fast too by counting 5 and then 5 more. 5, 10, and then 11, 12 by counting the separate dots. Okay, that's what you do. Now, is 12 even or is it odd? Zayden, is 12 even or odd?
Odd.
Ooh, are you sure about that? Let's count. I know, this is tricky. This is tricky. But let's see if we can count by 2s to get to 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Can I count by 2s to get to 12? I can. So that makes it an even number. That's a tricky one. Even. Now, and Zayden, I understand how you could think that that was odd, because if you look, you see odd man's out, right? But if I take those two ones that are by themselves, I could put them together, couldn't I? And make them into a pair. So when you see the odd man out, that would mean there would just be one by itself without anything else that we could put with it to make it a pair. And then the last one, this was a tricky one too. Number 3, how many dots did we have in our double tens frame for number 3, Jose? How many dots did we have? We had 11, yep. Jose, how did you count it so quickly? Did you count by twos? Okay. You can count it by twos. I went 5, 10, and then one more was 11. So is 11 an even number or is it an odd number, Jamie? It is odd, right. I have one dot by itself. There's no other one dot that I can put with it to make it a pair. So it is an odd number. Very good. Fantastic. All right. Awesome job today, friends. So just remember, what I want you to remember from today's lesson is, first of all, if you can count by twos and get to it, it's an even number. Start getting used to counting by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Get used to counting by twos. We'll count more by twos so that our brains are getting used to it. Also, sometimes if you're trying to figure something out and you can't tell if it's even or odd, you can always draw dots. And if you can put dots beside themselves in pairs, just like we have on these 10 frames here, then it's even. If there's one by itself, it's always going to be odd. We can never count odd numbers counting by twos because there's always one by itself. All right? Any questions?
No.
Yes, no, maybe so?
No.
Vanessa, do you have a question or are you just waving at me? Okay. All right. That is pretty much our lesson for today, friends. So, friends at home, you are now going to go into extra math and practice some extra math. Do a lesson until he tells you that you are done. Okay? All right. Vanessa, do you have a question real quick? You already did it? Oh, fantastic. If you already did it, then you don't have to do that. You can go into Math Seeds if you want to and practice the math that way. It's up to you. Okay? All right, friends at home, I will see you later. Toodly doodles. We'll see you later this afternoon for some closing circle. Bye-bye. Now, friends in here, let me stop this real quick.